Wow, MAGA Mike Johnson, the Republican Speaker of the House, was caught on a hot mic calling Donald Trump unhinged and deranged. Yes, MAGA Mike caught on a hot mic. He was caught on camera. I'm going to show it to you right now. So you see him right there. He's with Congresswoman Madeleine Dean right there. You see them? And so Congresswoman Dean goes up to MAGA Mike Johnson and says, look, you've got to do something, MAGA Mike. Look in your heart right now. Donald Trump is unhinged. You know he's unhinged. Did you see that speech that he gave in front of the military leaders? He's unwell. He's cognitively not there. You have to see it. So MAGA Mike Johnson doesn't go, no, he isn't, or no, I disagree with you. MAGA Mike goes, a lot of folks on your side are too. His response is basically, yeah, but there are people on your side who are deranged also, for which I disagree with to disagree with that. But in any event, MAGA Mike Johnson admitting it. Let me show you what went down. You'll see it right here. The cameras from MSNBC caught it. MAGA Mike is caught on a hot mic. He's panicking. This was one of the most candid moments we've seen of him. Here, play this clip.
The president is unhinged. He is unwell. What are you doing?
On your side are too. I don't control.
Oh my God, please. That performance in front of the generals,
I didn't see it.
It's so dangerous. You know I serve on foreign affairs and appropriations. It's a collision of those two things. Our allies are looking elsewhere. Our enemies are laughing.
I just left
you
the
have a
speaker's
president
side.
who is unwell.
So that was from MSNBC. Then Manu Raju got an angle from the CNN camera. You'll see the Secret Service that are given to the Speaker of the House standing right there. But look, you'll see Congresswoman Dean. You see her right there. You see MAGA Mike Johnson. And, you know, she's saying to him, like, go back and watch what he was saying at that speech in front of the military generals. He's unwell. And then she goes, do you see what he's posting? And he's like, that's not something that I would normally have done. I wouldn't have done it that way. And then she goes, you know, that's racist. Like, why is he posting AI videos of Leader Jeffries wearing a sombrero and saying that he's a Mexican? Like, why are you doing that? Like, he's an unwell, like Donald Trump is sick. Like he's like actually sick in the head. Like you realize that, MAGA, go watch it and do something, because this is on you. And you see MAGA Mike actually like tensed up and nervous. Like, I know. Here, watch this.
Oh, please, you should watch it.
Okay, I'll check it out.
I really think. How about last night with Hakeem and Shimon?
I think it's messed up.
No, it's not. It's disgraceful. It's negative. It's racist. You should call it out. Is it racist? You put a sombrero on a black man who's the leader of the House. You don't see that as racist? We need to desperately do it.
I'm more personal intelligence. I love you and respect you. Okay, we're not
That's
So speaking about how deeply unserious, Donald Trump is, right around that time, we then learn from Peter Doocy of state regime media known as Fox. He says that what's going on in the White House right now is that Donald Trump is playing on loop Hakeem Jeffries in the sombrero and with the mariachi band playing in the background and the mustache, that plays on loop in the White House. Like they think this is a funny thing. Here, play this clip.
Hakeem Jeffries said this afternoon he thinks that President Trump is engaged in unserious behavior during this shutdown, but officials here don't seem to mind one bit. In fact, the briefing room TVs have been playing that AI-generated video of Jeffries in a sombrero on a loop for several hours. John.
He knows how to troll, doesn't he, Peter?
And one of the real troubling things is that others in this MAGA movement, this is the way that the MAGA Republicans in Congress are behaving in the House of Representatives and the Senate. Like here you have MAGA Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. That's like not even her real name also. She's got like different names and aliases and different identities. Really weird background if you go and look at her too. Like who actually is Anna Paulina Luna? She was like a swimsuit model who posed with like war weapons, and that's how she got famous in the Republican Party. I digress. But she's like, I actually purchased a red sombrero. Everybody, red sombrero. This isn't funny times. Americans are suffering. Be serious, people. Damn it. Act like adults. Damn it. What is this? kids. Behave like freaking grown-ups. What are you doing? Here, play this clip.
And yeah, all of a sudden they're offended by President Trump. But in light of that funny joke, I actually did purchase a red sombrero that I hope that President Trump and JD Vance will wear during the celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month later on this month.
All right.
And then JD Vance is asked about it at the press conference. Like, what message do you think it sends when Donald Trump's out there posting AI images of Leader Jeffries from the Democrats wearing sombreros and you're doing AI voices? Like, this is a serious time. What message is it sending? And JD Vance is like, oh, I just think that's funny. The president is joking. And look, if you want to cut a deal, we'll stop posting the sombrero. Here, play this clip.
So the president's been posting some images of Leader Jeffries and Senator Schumer recently. You've said that you're interested in good faith negotiations with these leaders, but what message does that send? Is it helpful just post pictures of Leader Jeffries in a sombrero if you're trying to have good faith talks with him?
Oh, I think it's funny. The president's joking and we're having a good time. You can negotiate in good faith while also poking a little bit of fun at some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions and even, poking some fun at the absurdity of the Democrats themselves. I mean, I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. And I talked to the president of the United States about that. Now, to your first question, are we negotiating one-on-one? Are we negotiating in groups? Look, I will go to the U.S. Capitol right now and meet with Chuck Schumer or any Senate Democrat if it helps us reopen the government. Most of the conversations, in my experience at least, have been one-off. We're also, of course, relying on some of our Senate Republican colleagues who have good relationships across the aisle. We're going to do whatever we have to do is the answer. And I think it's tough to predict what shape this negotiation is going to take over the next few months. But I feel good about the fact that Democrats already realized privately the fundamental irrationality of their position. I hope that they're going to publicly acknowledge it and reopen the government.
A bunch of really weird people. JD Vance went on state regime media Fox earlier in the day, and he was asked by them questions about the shutdown, and all they wanted to talk about was the sombrero. Ha ha ha! Donald Trump's posting sombrero AI images. How funny is he? Here, play this clip.
So can you give us some insight into what they talked about, maybe how we can come to a compromise?
And the hats, the Trump trolling them with 28 hats.
Yeah, thank you, Lawrence. That's the most important part. They're also the Trump 2028 hats, which I think made the majority or the minority leader in both the House and the Senate very uncomfortable.
Not funny at all. You want to know what actually is funny and not racist? The posts that are being made by California Governor Gavin Newsom. He goes, Trump's minion, MAGA Mike, lies to the American people. Here, watch this. Play this clip.
The Democratic proposal is designed to prevent millions of Americans from losing their health insurance, losing Medicaid coverage, or paying higher health care premiums. Why are you against that?
No, George, let me tell you what happened last night. Everybody can go and review the facts for themselves.
And then California Governor Newsom did the same post about JD Vance. Now, this is actually, if you want to be funny and not racist, this is the way to do it. Just if you actually want to know what real humor is like. Here, play this clip.
You're flying today. I hope, of course, you arrive safely and on time, but you may not arrive on time because the TSA and the air traffic controllers are not getting paid today. Our military is not getting paid today, starting today. And obviously, the longer this drags on, the worse that it is for the American people.
And it's funny because you are Donald Trump sycophants, right? Like, you are his minions and you are doing whatever he tells you to do, which is violate the Constitution and violate your oaths. Like, that's actually what is happening right there. And by the way, MAGA Mike was asked by George Stephanopoulos yesterday morning about Trump posting more deep fake videos, sombreros. Like, what do you make of this? Watch MAGA Mike's response. Play this clip.
Let me ask you about President Trump. He had another deep fake video overnight. How does that help the cause of getting a deal and opening the government?
Look, the president uses social media for humor. He makes jokes. He does lots of things. What the president did in showing leadership, though, 2 days ago, was he brought in Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries to meet with me and Leader Thune in the Senate to try to work this out. He gave them unlimited time they had in the Oval Office, and they would not come to the table to do exactly, George, what they themselves have said repeatedly over and over and over.
Then MAGA Mike can't even grapple with reality when he's told by George Stephanopoulos, look, the Democratic plan has nothing to do with giving health care to unlawful migrants. It's not in the plan. Federal law prevents migrants from being on Medicare or Medicaid or getting Affordable Care Act plan subsidized through tax credit. So it doesn't exist. So what are you even saying? And watch how MAGA Mike pivots, and they lie so effortlessly. Here, play this clip.
The Democratic proposal is designed to prevent millions of Americans from losing their health insurance, losing Medicaid coverage, or paying higher health care premiums. Why are you against that?
That's an absurd statement, what you said there. Let's be clear about
a
what happened
factual
last night,
statement.
George. No, George, let me tell you what happened last night. Everybody can go and review the facts for themselves. 44 Senate Democrats voted to reject a clean, nonpartisan continuing funding resolution to keep the United States government open. The Democrats said instead that they wanted to give health care to illegal aliens instead of keeping critical services provided for the American citizens. That's what happened, plain and simple. Every Democrat in the House, except one, voted against the clean continuing resolution. It was nonpartisan in nature. There are no policy writers on it that Republicans favored. It's exactly what Chuck Schumer and other Democrats voted for in March. But they've changed their tune. They changed their tune because Chuck Schumer is having political problems right now. That's just a simple fact, and everybody knows it. He's trying to outrun the far left portion of his base, so he's decided to inflict pain on the American people.
Here are facts. Here are the facts. The proposal does not provide health care for illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants cannot buy health care under the Affordable Care Act. They cannot receive health care subsidies. Illegal immigrants are ineligible for Medicare, Medicaid, and the Children's Health Program. The Democratic bill does not make them eligible.
It does, actually, because what it does is it unwinds the changes that Republicans put into the big, beautiful bill, the big signature legislation that we passed and signed into law on July 4th. That has been very successful in shoring up Medicaid for the people who are actually eligible to receive it. What we did in the bill, and the CBO just verified this 3 weeks ago, the Congressional Budget Office, the nonpartisan arbiters of everything up here, they said that those provisions have helped to reduce premiums. Why? Because we got ineligible recipients off of Medicaid, illegal aliens, and able-bodied young men who are riding the wagon who are not eligible to be there. Medicaid is intended for specific populations of U.S. citizens. That is young, pregnant women who are down on their luck, the disabled and the elderly. Those resources are being drained from those folks. And so we fixed that. We reduced fraud, waste, and abuse in the program. Chuck Schumer's counterproposal on the CR would reverse that. That is a simple fact.
The CBO did not say that about illegal immigrants. You've made your point.
And then I'll show you this right over here on News Nation, where you had Scott Turner, the HUD secretary, Housing and Urban Development, all over all these government websites now. It's like the radical left Democrats want to give $1.5 trillion to unlawful migrants and transgender surgeries in Peru. That's what they want to do. And Cuomo has a good line of questioning here. I actually like Cuomo's line of questioning here. Here, play this clip.
I'm not used to seeing naked political propaganda on a government website. Are you worried about this violating the Hatch Act?
No, sir, we're not worried at all. And this is not about propaganda, Chris. This is just about letting the American people know what's going on. But we really need to be talking about how this government shutdown impacts the American people.
I want to do that, but this is part of the impact, right? I mean, when you're saying the radical left is shutting it down and they're doing it for $1.5 trillion for illegals, that's not true, Secretary Turner. That's why I'm bringing it up, because it's propaganda.
Well, you know what, though, Chris, you look at this, and I've heard all the cries and the outcry and people saying this is propaganda, that it's a violation of the Hatch Act. You know, to me, the Democrats and the far left are using this as a distraction to really deflect from what's really important here. And that's how it's been irresponsible actions on the Hill, and American people are being impacted greatly by this government shutdown. That's what we really need to be talking about.
I agree. I'm sure we also both agree 2 wrongs don't make a right.
And finally, I'll leave you all with this from Hope Walls. Yes, Governor Tim Walz' daughter. I think she describes the way our government works perfectly. And she says it kind of so succinctly and simply, where she's like, look, the way government in the United States is supposed to work, if you don't have the 60 votes in the United States Senate, guess what? You're supposed to compromise. You're supposed to work with the other side and reach deals. That's the way adults in government are supposed to behave. Not what the Trump regime's doing by saying, go fuck yourself. Not what the Trump regime is doing by posting AI images of the leader of the other political party wearing sombreros and hearing mariachi music and mustaches. And I don't even know what that's supposed to be. That's not the way government is supposed to function. And I just think by the way, Republicans did not show up to work. Okay. They did not show up to work on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Anyway, here's Hope Walz. Let's play it.
It never fails to amaze me the goalposts these people move in order to justify complete and utter stupidity and incompetence. There are still people in my comments saying, you need 60 votes in the Senate, and they only have 52. I don't even think it's worth it anymore to argue with people that don't know how anything works, because that is called governing. That is called governing. You cannot expect people to vote on an extremely harmful bill and not have them or their constituents get anything out of it. You compromise, you negotiate, you govern. You govern. That is called governing. That is their job. At the end of the day, they hold all three branches of government, and it is on them if the government shuts down. They need to compromise. I'm like, it's actually astonishing, and I don't know why it's surprising at this point. But yeah, no, you don't get to have that argument with me because it's invalid. Do your fucking job.